Hello, Namaste. I welcome you all to the 99th session of Gurubodha. I cordially welcome all the students to the session. And we have with us today Dr. Guraja sir and Dr. Raghuram sir. First, I would like to cordially welcome Dr. Guraja sir to this session. And I cordially welcome Dr. Raghuram sir to this session as well. So this session is brought to you by easyayurveda.com. I dedicate this and all of my works at the holy feet of Dr. H. Chandrasekhar Udupa. This class is live for Easy Other weekly class subscribers. Please visit easyother.com/video-classes to subscribe to our weekly classes. Dr. Guraja sir is a professor and Ayurveda physician at Dala Pendakar Ayurveda Center in Shumoga. To consult him, easyother.com/Guraja is the link to visit. Dr. Raghuram sir is Chief Content Officer at easyother.com. To consult him, please visit easyother.com/Raghuram. So the first topic for today is Ayush Ministry Science Research Collaboration with 25 foreign students. This is published in the last week itself. As of now, Ministry of Ayush has signed 25 country-to-country memorandum of understandings for cooperation in the field of traditional medicine and homeopathy, namely Nepal, Bangladesh, Hungary, Trinidad, Tobago, Malaysia, and so on and so forth. 23 memorandum of understanding for undertaking collaborative research in Ayush systems of medicines, and 13 MOUs for setting up Ayush academic chairs have been signed with various foreign universities and institutes. So before we get into the nitty-gritties of this agreement and all, I request Guraja sir to put in his opinion regarding this. Positive notes.
If you go back to the history of Ayurveda, during the Gupta's period, the knowledge of Ayurveda has crossed the boundaries of Bharata. It has reached to various other places. That's why we have got our Ashtanga, Hridaya, Ashtanga Sangraha. These texts have been translated to many languages, Persian languages, and even the other English languages and even European languages. So definitely the history is repeating. Once again, the knowledge of Ayurveda from India, it is being distributed through all over the world, and definitely our country is going to contribute to a large extent to the health of the population all over the world. And we are already behaving, and because our own culture is that it is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Everybody has to survive, everybody has to live. It is not just money-making market. It is for the purpose of living. God has given us an opportunity to live as a human being. We should live as a human being and should be contributing to the Prakriti. So that's the reason with the Ayurvedic Acharyas, they have given their entire knowledge in such a format, and that needs to be decoded as per the present day situations and present day wordings and requirement. And probably present government of Bharata is giving us a lot of opportunities. It is creating a more number of Ayush chairs across the world, and establishing some contacts and primary understandings and memorandum of understandings, and even initiating the research protocols and programs. Even exchange of students may come in the later. So this is a good step towards something like integrative approach, or understanding Ayush in a better manner, or going to such a type of medicine where there is a very less or there is no scope for side effects. That's what the Western world is worried about. There may be some effect of the good effect of the medicines, but along with that, there is attached side effects which may cause a lot of hamper to their life and even to their health in the coming years. So they don't want to go into the entangling of these type of chemical medicines, and even the protocols of the way we need to live, that Ayurvedic principles which has been described in Dinacharya and Rutucharya. So slowly people are moving towards that and trying to inculcate these habits in their practices, and definitely it is giving them a good opportunity. That's a similar way that how yoga has been propagated all over the world. Similarly, now yoga is giving them a good initiative in total the good feeling for them after doing it. Definitely they will feel when an entire world, already there is people are talking about that entire world is looking towards India, that is Bharat, towards new things and future capabilities and abilities of this nation, great nation. So definitely Ayush will also going to be typically reaches nook and corner of the world in coming days. And I hope the government will be taking the right steps in that direction.
Thank you very much, sir. Raghuram sir, do you have something to add, please?
Yeah, that's continuing from where Gururaja sir put his expertise comments on this particular move by Ayush, signing research collaborations with different countries. That's a very positive move. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, as Gururaja sir said, we're coming back to the repetition of history. See here, one thing I see is the belief and trust factor. There's totally contrast in what we discussed in the previous episode and what we are discussing right now. Like that was like totally towards negativity. How does even one person's opinion or a small system's opinion affect us? It shouldn't, because we are a proud science. We are making it big and large, always with definitively with the decades and centuries, even from the past and even as we move ahead. So it's only glory days for Ayurveda. So that's one thing we have to agree. And today's discussion, we are moving on a totally positive note. So like last episode itself, we discussed. So just a dog barking or any animal making a sound or some noise being created by somebody will not ruffle the ocean. So this is oceanic knowledge of Ayurveda. So it's been believed and trusted and being followed from ages, and it will not be any different in coming ages. So the country names what we are seeing here will further be added to this particular list. It's 25. Very quickly it will be 50, and Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So we will probably the whole start, rather than telling that Ayurveda might encroach the entire world and engulf with its comprehensive healthcare. So we can tell that the entire system will, the entire globe, the entire world will come towards Ayurveda, rather than we taking Ayurveda towards other people. People are showing interest, countries are showing interest, systems are showing interest, governments are showing interest. Why there is an interest? So because there is a trust. Why there is a trust? On the other side, there is no much trust on the other systems, the comprehensiveness with due respect to the other systems. So probably, with the exception of a few people and few opinions and few parties or few systems which are programmed to oppose this, the big world, the entire world encircling us, definitely invests their belief and trust factor in Ayurveda. That is why we are seeing this particular move. And this also shows that the entire world, most of the world, I want to use that word most, puts their and invests their belief and trust in Ayurveda. So they see that if a comprehensive and a total and full satisfactory health care, including the best results, need to be provided in terms of medicines, therapies, dietetic protocols, lifestyle indications, and all those things. Again, our dinacharya, rutucharya, vegadharanas, and almost everything will come into the play. So those not being explained in the other medicines, or rather the emphasis being given in the form of a community medicine or something like one subject or expertise in one subject. In Ayurveda, everywhere it is applicable. The dinacharya, rutucharya, and even the aushadha sevana kala is applicable. So it's so systematic. Ayurveda is so systematically arranged and organized. In spite of we calling it an ancient culture or an ancient system, everything has been organized in a very, very systematic pattern, right from A to Z. So this probably, when the people who don't know this, what is Ayurveda, or the people who know a few words of Ayurveda might just interpret in their own ways, so which may be misleading. But people who have gone into this ocean and try to explore at least a bit of it with sincerity and also positiveness will definitely appreciate and embrace Ayurveda. So this is a strong positive move for Ayurveda, and also a big scope for Ayurveda teachers and physicians to take Ayurveda to great heights, to propagate Ayurveda in the most positive way as possible, and try to show the world what is hidden in the wisdom of Ayurveda as much as we can. So one of my gurus was telling that one lifetime is not enough for studying Ayurveda and understanding it. So in one lifetime, whatever, so we have been blessed to be in this particular system of Ayurveda. So whatever we have tried to study, interpret, understand, and result-oriented practices, what we have been doing, if we can magnify it, if we can show it under the magnifying lens to the entire world who has been waiting to know more depths of Ayurveda. So Ayurveda schools, institutions, everything has been coming in different countries. So this is a step, a very good step, a very good positive steps towards. I don't call it as upbringing or uplifting of Ayurveda. Ayurveda was always right on the top. So it's only the awareness point which has got a remodulation. That's all. So it has been remodulated, re-edited. So the awareness and also the thought process of the people is becoming so positive about Ayurveda, because Ayurveda is so enriched that people want to come to Ayurveda and also use the richness of Ayurveda, the wisdom of Ayurveda, and experience. Very important word I want to use here is experience Ayurveda. So Ayurveda treatments and medicines are not just treatments and medicines, therapies and medicines, they're experience. The body experiences, the mind experiences, the soul experiences, everything. So it's more than a medical science. Like we have a spiritual value, we have a philosophical value, we have medicinal value, preventive care, curative values, everything we have in Ayurveda. So having said that, this is a courageous steps. Once like we have started, anyhow we have given a kickstart. So it's on the torch bearers, flag bearers, and also the highest tiers of Ayurveda to see that this is not let down or let off where it has started. So the first step is done. Now moving to second, third, fourth step, and taking it and magnifying it will be the next step. So I would like to conclude here by telling that it's a really a clap-worthy and appreciable step, and also move, and also the acceptance from the global scenario, and from the distribution front, what India, Bharata, as Guruji sir said, has been doing is exemplary.
So, and they are also coming up with, in the same article is mentioned, Ministry of Ayush under its fellowship scheme extends financial support for the eligible foreign nationals for undertaking undergraduate, postgraduate, and PhD courses in various premier institutes of Ayurveda. So this is interesting that, so though they are like shooting two birds in one arrow with this. What is that? There is huge incentive for Ayurvedic institutes to upgrade themselves to international standards in terms of facilities, equipment, laboratories, and all, quality of education, quality of lecturers, professors, and all. And it is also incentivizing the foreign nationals to take up the courses in India. So already there are numerous foreign nationals who can take a BAMS course in many institutes, but it's not, it is through the sheer interest of the students, and it is through the sheer perseverance of the respective institutes this was happening. Now Government of India is very validly promoting that. And also, as much as I've seen, people who want to learn Ayurveda from foreign countries, they struggle a lot in terms of resources, in terms of quality of education, and more importantly, they do not have sufficient funds with them. So most of the people will be doing one or the other works, jobs in the morning, and they come in the evening and they sit for listening lecturers and listen for study, etc. In the weekends they travel a lot to reach to the institute to study. Some people even stay in the near to the institute for 1 or 2 days in the weekends, and then come back, and next day morning they go back to the school, to their job, etc. So this fellowship scheme is a welcome step for attracting them. So this clearly indicates that the Ministry of Ayush is really doing the homework. And though we ought to sometimes think that all foreign students of Ayurveda or anybody coming from foreign to India have a lot of money, is often not true. We have done internship for many foreign Ayurveda students in the last year itself. From January to October, September, if we consider, we have trained more than 60 to 80 foreign students, starting from Chile to Czech Republic to USA, Russia, UK, Canada, from many different places. What we understood that all do not come from like higher economic status, so they so a fellowship scheme will be so much useful to them, and so this fellowship scheme aims at achieving recognition and acceptance of our traditional medicine systems abroad, and Ayush experts are deputed to foreign countries to participate in international meetings, conferences, training programs, seminars, and on special assignments from Government of India for promotion and propagation of Ayurvedic systems. So this again encourages more and more scholars from India to reach to the world directly to showcase the strength of Ayush systems, mainly Ayurveda. This is in a way like how Swami Vivekananda reached the shores of the US and dominated the Chicago International Conference on Religion, and then went on to conquer US and Europe and spread spirituality. Now it is the time for Ayurvedic experts to reach and conquer the world with Ayurveda. So financial assistance is also provided for international conference, workshop, seminar, etc. And Ayush experts are deputed in foreign countries for meeting, training, etc. And financial assistance is also provided for providing presentations, Ayush-related scientific research paper, etc. So one thing that this is like not just like a knee-jerk reaction, or this plan is not just like somebody thought of it and let's promote Ayush in some way and they just rolled out this. Guru sir, this is like a well thought out program for standardized propagation of Ayush systems, especially Ayurveda, across the globe.
So usually it is seen in such a way that the international arena, the people look at the way the leaders of each and every country, they behave and their words and their works, their thought process and their work. If it is differs, they always have a backstep while accepting anything. If it is, but in case of India, Bharat, what is now happening is typically the way we are in a very difficult time across the globe, due to our vaccine policy. We've extended support to each and everybody without looking at the cost. We thought that every human life is a valuable one. So that is an important step, and which has generated a lot of people looking at in Bharat in such a eyes that they may come to help us in any situations. And after that, Bharat has given them a very beautiful yoga. When so many countries they started using it, they came to know the real benefit of that. And when Bharat has given them this real benefit without any cost to that. It's a free. So when the concept of health has been given to you and how it shall be done, definitely that gives us a very boosting nature. And in the international arena, that definitely the people look at that the way the people and the policymakers and the stakeholders and even the key persons in the cabinet and the ministry and of course the government all are doing a wonderful job and promoting the things and showing the confidence, and they're giving an assurance to the world that we as a Bharatiyas, we are there with you in your difficult times. Definitely it has provoked an interest in the rest of the world in the concepts of Bharat and what we are going to give them. So definitely when Ayurveda is being served to them, even though to an unknown person, we will take it up with a pride and try to look at with the positive angle of that. See, when you want to showcase anything, a negative, any number of positive is there that you won't consider. You try to find out any negative is there in that because your intention is that. But when you are approaching to a system or an information or anything, the positive note, definitely you try to inculcate or absorb the positiveness and the bright side of the picture. So with these things, definitely Ayush is promoting the Ayurveda and all other system of alternative system, what's so called alternative system of medicines, definitely will be taken up by the world population with a real sense. And of course, in future days are totally bright for Ayush and particularly even for Ayurveda. It is a very good move and definitely it is going to be a game changer, what I say, maybe in the health field in the coming decade.
Thank you there, sir. And moving on, recently Bharat hosted the G20 Meet Alliance and it published a zero draft of the document naming Strengthening Global Health and implementing One Health Approach. For that, Rajiv Vasudevan, he is the CEO of Ayurveda. He wrote an interesting article in LinkedIn. I'll just post the original quote of that. So he made some interesting points in that. I think it's noteworthy and it's worthy of discussion. So he writes, from the zero draft of G20 New Delhi leaders declaration, I extract the following para from page 9. So this is not my work, it is Rajiv Vasudevan's work. And he says in that, recognize the potential role of evidence-based traditional and complementary medicine in health and take note of international efforts in this direction, including World Health Organization's global and collaborative centers. So for the first time, there is a reference of traditional medicine in any of the G20 document. This G20 is mostly like geopolitical and financial, etc. So Bharat has managed to introduce the word traditional medicine, which definitely is intending to use Ayurveda as a soft power. And so the word traditional medicine, so he says that extremely guarded, however, such as potential and evidence based. So here, the whoever has drafted it, they have made it very carefully that for in the foreign countries for Ayurveda to be accepted, we cannot say that it's written in Samhitas and it's written in textbook, practice for thousands of years, so you accept it. So it has to be in a gradual, step-by-step manner. It is not showing any disrespect for Ayurveda in any way. It is just that we are going step by step, one step at a time. For a person who does not understand English, we cannot teach that person from an ancient novel or from very Run and Martin grammar book, etc. It should be single sentence, simple words from there, simple grammar, and so on and so forth. So Rajiv Vasudevan writes, extremely guarded, however, terms such as potential and evidence-based included to ensure that vested interests and closed minds are not provoked. We have lot of trigger-happy anti-Ayurveda, anti-natural science people in India and across India, and we say that we are promoting traditional medicine, just not without mentioning evidence-based, etc. It can trigger them. So just to safeguard our interests and protect ourselves, they have included potential and evidence-based in that draft. In a post-pandemic scenario, when the world learned the hard way with millions of dead and with long COVID still a disability, of the significant limitations of so-called evidence-based medicine, an extremely patronizing statement. However, in the world of geopolitics, a milestone beginning of a new phase, coinciding with the launch of WHO GCTM in Jamnagar and the first WHO Traditional Medicine and Global Summit in August 2023, this gels well. And then he goes on to write that Lagero Munne Bhai is only the way to sustain the movement, slow, yet steady and sure. The entire section of health is attached below. He writes, so he writes this one. Again, another push, and as much as, so 2 points to this one is for discussion is potential and evidence based. So though we claim that these are practiced for several years, some amount of evidence, some amount of careful articulation of the claims of therapies, Ayurvedic medicines will help in slow but gradual acceptance of Ayurveda across the globe. Gurubodha sir, please.
See, we need to understand potential and evidence-based. The people are of the opinion that the information and the knowledge is written down in the book. It is many thousands years old. Now they are having a doubt whether really it is written by those people or it is just some cooked up story. So that's why they want to take it with a pinch of salt at every move. They would like to understand that is it real one? Is it showing the results? And they want to test the old way of life, the drugs, the principles, modalities of Ayurveda, and everything from the perspective of modern angle. The present day, what they understand as something like called scientific medicine. So in order to prove that Ayurveda or the traditional medicines are also based upon a very strong and pillars as principles, and the potential is very much there. But the only thing is that how many people utilize these modalities, the medicines, as well as the protocols. If they utilize it, automatically they generate an opinion. Then they will pass on those opinions to some other people. And that's why it becomes a viral. So similarly, when we have got celebrities coming over and using our products or our therapies and things, they started telling to others. And it goes on to become a viral statement or a tip or something like that. Definitely it gives such a push. So when it becomes, from the scientific point of view, if you want to look at these things, the potential and evidence based, why it is called potential means it is so much of traditional knowledge has been written down, which is not at all utilized. For example, if you take up the preparations of Ayurveda, There is a one book, it comes in the 5 volumes, Bharata Bhashi Ratnakara. It has got more than 25,000 of preparations. How many of the preparations in that book has been produced by the manufacturers, used by the practitioners? We don't know. Even in Samhitas, there are many drugs, combinations have been explained, but only the some of the potential one which is being used. So once upon a time, my sir used to tell me that we got 75,000 around botanical species in India. Hardly in that 75 drugs we are using regularly. So this is a very huge potential. It is not at all tapped properly. So it needs to be put into a scientific evaluation. So that's the reason they might have said the term potential. There are two important areas where we could produce a herbal combination and a total mineral combination or herbo-mineral combination. And these into a very nano-sized medicines, the nanoparticles, they can go to any part of the body and they can exit without causing any damage. That is the beauty of this science. When such things are being given a weightage, automatically it gives a lot of evidence. And when it is evaluated, examined as per the modern laboratory methods, capabilities, then they'll establish or gives a supportive statement what Ayurveda thinks. Just like Upavasa, Langanam, which has been traditionally said in Ayurveda as a very good one. Langanam Paramoshadam, Langanam Juraharanam. We were not Upavasa as a concept in Swasthavritta. Everything is explained. But still, when somebody from the other side studies this and presents it in a beautiful, presentable and acceptable language and explains the capacity of Upavasa in killing the cancerous cells, then he gets a Nobel Prize. That is what the thing, the endorsement from the other part of thing and presenting the thoughts and principles of present thing in the form of an evidence base that creates a huge changes and even the direction, and it becomes a revolutionary thought process. So that is the reason they might have used the potential and evidence based, and it's only just discovering the things which is already existing in Ayurveda. We also know this potential and evidence based things, but given circumstances where we live and we practice, definitely we are not entirely is the potential of Ayurveda. We are certainly a certain portion only we are using it. And definitely this potential and evidence based Ayurveda is the real one, and definitely is going to, it's going to give a beautiful, lot of informations and peer-reviewed journals and so many articles will be there in the future.
Thank you, sir. And when this discussion was going on in this group, in our group, so somebody mentioned this, and this is typical Ayurvedic sentiment and reaction whenever Ayurveda promotion in the other countries is discussed. So the discussion was that Ayurveda is getting promoted in 25 countries. So probably in the recent future, in the near future, Ayurveda practice becomes legal. So this question I keep on getting and I keep on seeing this question in many platforms. And this is the thought process of many of the BMS doctors practicing in India. So this was a reaction for Ayurveda practice. We can be legalized in many countries soon. So already research Ministry of Ayush is pushing, so Ayurveda practice can be legalized in many countries. And suddenly many BMS doctors rush into say, okay, I mean, if it is to be legalized, so can rasa aushadhis be practiced, or can full-fledged panchakarma can be practiced, etc. Questions. Suddenly they skip step 1, 2, 3 and get into the step 20, which is the rasa aushadhi legalization and practice across the globe. Probably when we reach to that stage, we want to reach to the stage of usage of rasa aushadhis globally and acceptance of safety and efficacy of rasa aushadhis globally. But that comes somewhere in the step number 20. So we are just in the step number half. We are not even in the step number 1. So in many of the countries, many of the institutes get legal notices. Many of the Ayurveda hospitals who are doing genuine Ayurvedic work get legal notices if they simply promote saying that our therapies cure or our therapies help in arthritis. So we cannot, in countries like USA, Canada, etc., we cannot touch the disease names itself in our promotion material, etc. So we are not even the step 1. So probably the method, so this question is a little bit wrong. So probably the acceptance of Ayurveda or legalization of Ayurveda will happen in a gradual manner. So probably this is going to start with single herb medicines, single herb formulations, or what we call as Ekamulika Dravya Prayoga, that getting accepted first, and then 2 to 3 to 5 herb combinations like Trifala, Panchavalkala, Brihat Panchamula, Trikatu, Trimada, etc. They getting accepted, and then gradually move up the ladder. So first, though we love our Rasaushadis, and in a majority part of some places in Bharat, Rasaushadis are the dominant things, and many believe that Rasaushadis are the greatest tool of Ayurveda that we have. So we have to go through the herbal route first, get it approved, get it accepted, and then side by side build the Rasaushadhi research and safety protocols, and do numerous research to prove the efficacy and more than efficacy, the safety of Rasaushadhis, so that the world accepts it. So we have to be slow, methodical, and gradual here. Gurada sir, please.
Even in the classes or colleges, when we start using, explaining about the Ayurveda, just look at the syllabus, the way we have classified that. The first phase of the BAMS, we are designed in such a fashion that it is constructive one, and it is a basic one, and it contains only non-clinical subjects, what they have been classified with some terminologies. Then in the second phase, they are considered as a preclinical ones. And in the third phase of BMS, they say it's a clinical subject. So this is the way we need to understand for everything. One day you cannot simply write a novel. First you should know the alphabets, then try to make the sentence, then phrases, then novel. So it takes some time to do all those things. The first thing is that at least attracting the world towards Ayurveda is the first step. Then comes an initiation or interest, creating them to learn. It's in a world platform like the day on that Prime Minister Modi was explaining about some African country, the president's daughter had some eye issues, and the entire world is finally she got to in Kerala and here with the Ayurveda. That itself is one of the documented evidence and a certification, so which very clearly says that there is a potential, there is an evidence base, but one thing is that how the way we project it and how the way we keep it. If it is legalization of anything or any new act or anything is passed, even the parliament, it would take much more time to get to be practical seen on the ground. Recently, there is a women bill passed in the parliament. Both the houses of the parliament, they have passed it. But it becomes only practical by 2029. So this is the time taken to get all the obstacles in between to make it a real one, in sense, acceptance in everywhere, and what are the necessary changes that needs to be done for that. So similarly for Ayurveda also, you are exposing Ayurvedic knowledge and Ayurveda information to such a persons, they don't know about the ABCD of Ayurveda. First, they should be given a scope to understand it in a very step-by-step manner. Then only you can think of giving legalization and other things regarding the metals and mineral containing Rasaushadhis. But it is not very difficult for us to explain them and use them. They are very open for when we are using silver, gold, iron, calcium and such type of things. They are worried with only three things: lead, mercury and very important one, arsenic. So lead, mercury and arsenic, with these three are lethal poisons, and they are worried that how this poison can be converted into nectar, how the people are doing it, whether it needs to be accepted. So this is a big question mark for them. Otherwise, there is no problem to accept Ayurveda and to come into the fields of Ayurveda. So other part, it takes much more time to legalize it, because we need to establish so many things in terms of what they think are the scientific protocol of studying or research that needs to be understood. Our drug and our modalities and treatment principles are to be incorporated into that thing. How it becomes both gel together in such a fashion that it can be a workable model. All these needs to be prepared and it should be developed in over a period of time. So it takes much time. But definitely the days will not be very far away that these even Rasaushadhis are also gets a legalized status to practice in many Western world.
Thank you very much, sir. And even before use of single herbs, it should come from healthy routines like waking up early, fasting, intermittent fasting, or simple oil massage, oil pulling. Like these are all not very like hardcore therapies which would attract the red eye of legal authorities. These are like health maintenance ones, which all the health authorities across the globe are fine to accept. So probably it should come from there. And there is this even in India, as much as we boast about the Ayurveda, etc., there is still a huge amount of work to be done by Indian Ayurveda doctors, the BMS doctors, to reach to the masses and help them to accommodate and accept Ayurveda, because even in India, many people do not believe in Ayurveda. This is the bitter truth. So something like 21-day challenge with you make a WhatsApp group with your patients and encourage them to say do intermittent fasting or any form of fasting that you want to promote. And there are already such challenges happening. So intermittent fasting challenge, 5 a.m. club challenge. I think Robin Smith has written a book on waking up by 5 a.m. So similarly, make up your own like oil pulling challenge or a self oil massage challenge, etc., in the group, and make it a habit for the patients to follow these. This will encourage more and more Ayurveda acceptance. And this probably is the way even for the foreign Ayurveda practitioners to go step by step, so on and so forth. So let's wrap that up and let's come back to the hardcore Ayurvedic therapy topic. So question to Gururaja sir is that what is the significance of Calotropis procera, that is Arka, in the treatment of digestive disorders? So the context is that Arka is Calotropis procera or gigantea, and it's a kshira or latex is used in preparing Shara Sutras. So it is Shariya in nature, meaning very corrosive and hardcore, can potentially increase Pitta dosha. But we keep on seeing use of Arka leaves or Arka Kshara, etc., in many of the Ayurvedic formulations. In Arka Lavana, a famous Ayurvedic medicine prepared with Arka Patras or leaves of Calotropis procera and the rock salt sandwiched between these, made into several layers, and it is taken in a closed mud container, and it is burnt and its ash is used. And then there is this famous Pravala panchamritha rasa, which is prepared again with Mukta Basma, Shanka Basma, Shukti Basma, Kaparda Basma, Pravala Basma. So all the Basmas are taken. And then the latex of Arka or Calotropis procera latex, Arka Kshira is taken. And then it's ground with all those things. And that's how we prepare the Pravala. And then it is used. So Pravala Panchamrita Rasa is used in bloating, udara, pliha, shwasa, aruchi, ajirna, associated with vata kapha disorders and all. So why Arka is used in these digestive disorders, and what is the role of Arka specifically for digestive health? Gururaja sir, please.
Our digestive system is provided with a lot of digestive juices, enzymes, and of course with hydrochloric acid in a diluted format. But due to our food habits, the way we live, or the tensions, the stress, and the medicines what we consume, because of that, there is a change in the pH balance inside the gut, particularly at the level of stomach. So that's what they call as a hyperacidity or hyperchlorhydria, where the acid secreted will be having much acidic in nature and going to cause a problem. So in order to nullify its effect, we need to give something which is Kshari, that is Tishna, penetrating Kshari Dravya, and mixing it as a Bhavana Dravya for many of the calcium groups of the things. It is called Sudhavargiya Dravyas like Pravala and even the Kapardika, even the Ghatika. It balances the acidity or the Amlapitta in the Sharira. So hence this particularly the penetrative capacity of Arka even try to reach the penetrative capacity of something like that of Amla. The right kind of person needs to be one right kind of problem. So that's the reason hyperchlorhydria is something like which nowadays the most people get suffering from this. And we have got people they consume a lot of medication, a lot of process therapies, and even the modern protocols. still they are unable to, or still they are not happy with their issues with the stomach. So digestive health is one of the important area which needs to be rectified in such a way that Samanavata should be doing its karma, Pachakapitta should be doing its karma properly, and in this process there should not be any imbalance of the acidic media. So that's the reason you can observe that the gastrium is having acidic media, whereas the intestines are having alkaline media. But there is a clear-cut barrier and it won't mix up. But here, when the acidic nature goes beyond certain levels, we call it as a Vidhagdatha of pitta. So in order to reduce the Vidhagdatha of pitta, we need to get such a drug which is a Tikta Katu in rasa, Kariya in guna, and definitely it is going to nullify the excess Ushnata and Tikshnata of even the Amla. So basically, when Amla and Kshara gunas join together, it becomes Madhura and Jala. It is explained in Shishruta. So that's definitely we can accept that this is the reason for that our acharyas have designed Arka, Kshira in many of the yogas which can be used in hyperacidity and such condition of Amlapitta. It may be Adhogata Amlapitta or Urdhvaga Amlapitta.
So coming to the properties of Arka, it is Katu Titta and Lagu Ruksha Tikshna and Anugospandant Katu Vipaka and Ushna Virya. So can you please a little bit explain more about Vidhagdatha of Pitta and its symptoms, sir?
See, whenever there is a Vidhagdatha, the person will have bloating of the abdomen, sore erectations, and heartburns and indigestion. These will be so even sometimes vomiting, associated later with the headache. So these things are very common with the Vidhagdatha of the Pitta. So Vidhagdatha of the Pitta can only be suppressed by using a Kshariya Dravya or with a Tikta Dravya. So that's why a drug which is having Tikta Rasa and Kshariya Guna definitely is one of the choice for relieving the Vidhagdatha. But the best thing is one which is Tikta, Shita in nature, that is also used for this purpose. So that's the reason Pravala panchamritha in that Pravala, all these are Mukta, these are very Shita in nature. So they are providing the Shita Guna, and whatever the Amlata was there, it should be nullified by a Kshariya Guna, that will be taken care by the Arka Kshira. So that is the reason probably this Arka Kshira has been taken for the Bhavana Dravya for these medicines.
Thanks, sir. Right, like you rightly pointed out, the Mukta Bhasma, Shankha Bhasma, etc., providing a cooling effect, and this providing the Agni improvement effect, all in all helps to comprehensively treat the Amlapitta. Raghuram sir, please.
Regarding Vidhagdatha, Heber, so I would like to add up here, Amlam Vidhagdam cha Tatpittam Amlapittam. So that is the definition of Amlapitta. Amlam Vidhagdam cha Tatpittam Amlapittam. So here we need to see, Gurubodha sir has rightly explained about this. I just gave a classical reference. Generally, Pitta is not in the Vidhagda Avastha. Like we can consider as a semi-processed or unprocessed form of Pitta. Generally, it is said that the Pitta, when it is enriched with its qualities, Sneha, Sasneha, Tikshnoshnam, Lagu Visram, Saram Dravam, all those qualities enriched and in its balance, the Pitta will either have actually it is mentioned as Katu. So Katu or Tikta Rasa Interium. So a bridge between these two tastes is the original taste of Pitta. But when some things happen, like etiological factors, there is a contribution of Nidana in the form of dietary imbalances or lifestyle imbalances which affect Pitta. The taste of Pitta, there is a transformation or there is a change of original taste, and also the qualities of Pitta take place. So when Pitta becomes abnormal from a state of normalcy, so like when it goes to a state of imbalance, generally on a higher scale, like we call it as a prakopa in that particular stage, especially in the Pitta aggravating seasons, like Sharad Rutu, Varsha Rutu, there is accumulation, and Sharad Rutu, there is severe aggravation of Pitta. If care is not taken in monsoon season and also the autumn seasons, especially in terms of diet, the medicines we consume, the lifestyle we are leading, and many other factors, the Pitta is badly influenced, and this particular Pitta is called as Vidhagda Pitta. So Vidhagda Pitta is a Pitta which has lost its normal taste and acquired an abnormal taste. So there is a, along with the change of taste, there are change in some certain qualities also. The pitta will lose its efficiency to properly digest, assimilate, convert food, because we know that pitta has so much of property similar to Agni. Agni Reva Rire Pitta Antargata. The Agni itself is decoded and stored inside the pitta. So whatever are the actions of Agni or the fire in the outside world, there its representative is pitta. In the body, it is doing so many activities. The main one being the metabolism, the digestion, the absorption, assimilation, even acceptance of food, distribution of food, and also division of food into waste and unwanted, that is useful and waste materials, with the help of samana vayu and other structures in the body. So when pitta loses its original taste and also compromises with some qualities, it becomes vidagda. Amlam vidagdam cha tat pittam. So such a pitta is called as vidagda pitta, or we can call it as amlapitta. Amlapitta, when it comes, so when the condition establishes, if it is for a temporary, if it is that vidagda pitta or change in taste of pitta is temporary state, we don't call it as amlapitta. But when dosha dosha samurchana, when the disease has gone to the fourth, completed fourth and entered into the fifth stage of pathogenesis according to Sushruta and Kriya Kala, where the disease is manifested and diagnosed, in that stage, in the fifth stage, we call that disease as amlapitta, that condition. Here, the condition has been established, the tissues are also involved, the doshas are involved, pitta is affecting the tissues, and it is creating a symptom complex. Here is where the treatment, proper treatment line which has been explained for amlapitta should be administered. So this is a state called as amlapitta. So the symptoms of vidagda pitta, as per your question, Dr. Heber, will be almost the same symptoms of amlapitta. So because amlam vidagdam chatat pittam, the pitta which has undergone vidagdata and also acquired amlata as a consequence is called as amlapitta. So we can infer that the symptoms of vidagda pitta will be similar to those of, or exactly the same as the symptoms of amlapitta without any conversion. Again, clinically it is a urdhvaga amlapitta and adhoga amlapitta, symptoms manifested in the upward directions, which can be diagnosed through so many symptoms. So we'll take up at some other point. And adhoga amlapitta is also there. Very rarely this is clinically diagnosed. I personally have not diagnosed any condition as adhoga amlapitta, not seen any doctor. So I may be wrong if somebody are very clinically precise diagnosing a given condition as adhoga amlapitta. Amlapitta is diagnosed at the clinical level, urdhvaga and adhoga. So that bifurcation and classification maybe at the PG and PhD levels, the scholars may take up that particular work. I am not sure about that, and diagnose very precisely as adhoga amlapitta. I have also seen very less, or almost I have not seen any work being done on adhoga amlapitta. So adhoga amlapitta is moreover the amlapitta which is manifested in the urdhva amashaya, that is stomach and small intestine, and its symptoms are majorly manifested in the downward direction. Its diagnosis can be made by seeing the stools, and urdhvaga amlapitta rather than the belching predominant symptoms are there. So probably both are associated or both are also coexisting at some particular point. So we are not sure about that. The dosha predominance also will clear the picture. So for time being, the question was about vidagda pitta. So the vidagda pitta shall be treated on the lines of amlapitta itself. The clinical protocol and also the use of Arka and also the other Ksharia dravyas, Gurubodha sir has nicely elaborated all those things. So that will be attached with this. Thank you, sir.
So thank you, sir. And probably in the next session, we'll take up this amlapitta with the symptoms, etc., udga, adhoga, and also dosha-based symptoms in the next session. There is a opinion in this. I don't accept understanding Ayurveda through the lens of evidence-based concept, as well as unique with socio-psychological, mental, emotional, and even pathogenesis. Reliability on clinical trials, humans is way beyond the mechanistic person-to-person comparisons, manipulative by authorities, etc., makes me not to accept. If there is this traditionalistic or conservative versus future optimistic. Probably the right words, I hope. Views on like how Ayurveda should go forward. One says that let's stick to the Samhitas only, and whatever they're preached in Samhitas, Siddhantas, and sangrahas are good enough for this generation, next generation, and for thousands of years, because they have served us for thousands of years previously. And then there are this one that, okay, to make it more acceptable and presentable, to give a more cosmetic look, we have to go and speak the language of the others. Gurudasa, please.
Whenever anything is given, if I can't blindly say that I don't accept, because it blocks my thoughts and even openness to accept anything. I should be always open-minded to understand what the other person says. See here, evidence-based concept. Don't we need evidence to prove our things? Yes, evidence is required. But evidence in the way it is to be accepted, where the world accepts it, or more number of people accept it, the way we need to do it means the concept of Ayurveda, and anything has to be studied from the perspective of a modern angle. Then there will be a typically designed protocols to study this, which is designed based on the theories and postulates of Ayurveda. Based on that, we will be designing a drug trial or even a clinical trial. So when we do it, and typically we say that this is the thing which is the outcome of this study, it doesn't mean that it should be holds good for everything. No, it holds good for more number of people, the majoritarian concept. So when there is something which is being told as, for example, this particular drug is going to act as anulomana. One of my patients says, sir, you said by taking this I will have 1 or 2 loose motions. Since last 2 days I didn't have not even a single son. It is not working on me. But book says it is anulomana. I have given to many people, they all have anulomana effect. But there are a few one or the other people which is a very typically their body nature. It is not giving the result in that sense, but doesn't make that no, it is against the evidence, so we cannot accept it as a anulomana. No, it is not like that. Here under Mr. Haritaki, given in many cases, most of them will get result. But one of my patients used to take 4 tablets per day. Still, he was not able to pass the stools. But there was no evidently anything wrong inside. We have checked everything. There is no obstruction. There is no other pathologies. So like this, we need to be very open to understand this. Evidence-based concept means there should be evidence. Evidence speaks the truth about your knowledge, your understanding, and the ability of the drug which can be proved in particular condition. So when it is proven on many number of patients, on many occasions, definitely automatically it itself becomes an evidence. Example, it sets a standard. So we need to set the standard, so then only we can say that. But there is definitely not everything is 100% unique. It is not universal. Many times we will have the exceptions. Ayurveda has also very clearly said there are exceptions. Even while explaining the Vipaka, they have said very exceptions. So it doesn't mean that it should be universally accepted and universally truth. No, there are certain things which is majoritarian. Most number of people or many number of people will have, or the major portion of the population holds good these theories, are working on them in a right sense. Then we need to accept.
Thank you, sir.
I think Gururaja sir has answered this. I just want to address this particular point. Gururaja sir has rightly addressed. One thing I want to add is the policymakers, when we are speaking about Ayush taking Ayurveda to different countries, or the Ayush system to different countries, and we are speaking about potential, that word, and evidence-based, these two words. If they're clearly defined, that is very important. What is potential and what is evidence-based? So what are the parameters which decides that this is an evidence-based one? One thing at the conclusive remarks, Gururaja sir said, constant practice and constantly giving a particular medication or a therapy, and that proving result every time will be a conclusive, this one like evidence-based. So because we have evidence that it has worked, so probably the Western world or the other part of the world requires more proofs and evidences in the form of investigations before and after. So that's exactly what we are doing in post-graduations, PhDs, and other research works. Before and after reports we have for each and every one. So we have to have a very clear-cut data. So definition of potential and evidence-based medicine, that is very important. And as Gurubodha sir rightly said, so sometimes in Ayurveda we use the word prabhava. So when and also vichitra pratyaya rabda, these are the words used. Prabhava is the effect of or the impact of the medicine, to be very short. So this is not as short as we think. When we are not able to differentiate or give a clarity regarding the action, in the previous episode we are speaking, how does Aragyavardhini act and all those things. So in some people it is acting, and in some people, Eranda Brashta Haritaki example given by Gurubodha sir right now. If it doesn't work in 2 people, how do we tell? So if it works in 5 people, how do we explain that? So evidence-based, majority of the cases it should be proved, and just when I tell it is prabhava, it is an impact. So in this particular person, and there is no prabhava in that another person, it is acting through rasa guna virya, and in the other person it is acting prabhava. Again, people will ask for the evidence. So vichitra pratyaya rabda. So medicines behaving in a very strange way. So even here also, I cannot tell this is a vichitra pratyaya rabda. Don't ask me any question. So again, the clarification is needed and evidence is asked. So one possible remedy, what I see is Ayush taking Ayurveda to different countries. If those countries initially, Hebar sir and Gurubodha sir also made that valid point. Step by step is Hebar sir used. We cannot straight away jump into Rasaushadhas and all those things. Even before that, the introduction of Ayurveda to different countries should be right from the base, like Srushti, like creation of the world. What Ayurveda tells, the Srushti Utpatti Krama, right from their dosha, dhatus, theories, panchamritha theories, and also manas, indriya, atma, all theories should be introduced so that people understand Ayurveda first. So instead of going directly into the practice of herbal medicines or herbo-mineral medicines, first it should be the introduction, proper introduction of step-wise syllabus of Ayurveda as our BAM students are studying. A comprehensive understanding of Ayurveda, then only they will understand the herbs, how they act, minerals, how they act, herbo-minerals, how they act. So the policy should be introduced right from the education system. So first, the formation of Ayurveda schools, colleges, and comprehensive education, maybe hire the teachers from India, hire the doctors from India. So that should be a collaborative approach. And later, when we come into the herbal and herbo-mineral part, a collaborative research between, see, when does a person out of the country, out of my country, that is Bharat, understand how does Ayurveda work? Only when that person is working alongside me and he appreciates that as much as I am appreciating. It's not only appreciating. When I tell there are results, even that person should witness the results. To witness the results and understand, that person should know rasa, guna, virya, vipaka, everything, and to know that that person needs the basics of Ayurveda. So conclusive remarks is, there are 2 territories of Ayurveda practice. One is my own territory within my 4 walls, where people believe in me, trust in me. There is a queue outside. They don't even ask questions. If I want to practice within my territory, I am safe. I need not go with evidence-based medicine or prove the potential of the medicine, because the person trusts in me and my medicines and the results I have given, and people are advertising me. So like, this doctor is very good at treating arthritis or back pain or headache. Please go. Every time my medicines, I have a systematic approach and I'm giving good results. People trust in me, come here, and that's done and dusted. And this other part of practice is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. When we want to take Ayurveda cross borders, definitely there will be questions there. Definitely there will be questions and brainstorming questions. And we should be ready with each and every weapon to answer those questions. Answering those questions itself will be providing the evidence, maybe through the classical references or through the approaches we have done or the practices we have done over a period of ages, or the results we have been showing every time. So if these 2 things are demarcated, what is my territory? I am practicing only in Bharat or outside Bharat. So that defines whether I need an evidence-based, whether I should be looking at Ayurveda through the evidence-based lens or shouldn't be. If you want to expand your territory, definitely people will ask for evidence, and you need to have evidence, and we need to equip ourselves with those tools.
With that positive note, let's end this session. So thank you all. Thank you. Namaste.